Travis Williams Contracting. Just got our largest construction management contract to date on a public school project, a $9 to $10 million contract this week.
Yes. Boom. Okay, now you got to bang the gong. You got to bang it. Yes. Yes.
Boom! Shake the room, Fire Nation. JLD here, and welcome to Entrepreneurs on Fire, brought to you by the HubSpot Podcast Network with great shows like Success Story Podcast. Today, we're pulling a timeless EO Fire episode from the archive, so the giveaway may not be active, and we'll be breaking down the steps to business success. To drop these value bombs, I have brought Clay Clark into EO Fire Studios. Clay, say what's up to Fire Nation and share something interesting about yourself that most people don't know.
What is going on there, Fire Nation? I have 30 chickens, 14 cats, north of 40 fire extinguishers, and I've had enough Dayquil today to kill a small goat.
No wonder why you haven't moved to Puerto Rico yet, because that is a lot of baggage, my friend, that's going on there. In Fire Nation, Clay was actually last on Entrepreneurs on Fire back in 2015. So it's been over 4 years. So there's been a lot going on in your world, brother. I've been keeping some tabs. I've been being filled in by my team here, but share with Fire Nation the new projects that you've been up to since we last chatted.
Well, we have a men's grooming lounge chain. It's kind of like haircuts meets country clubs called Elephant in the Room. And we just opened up 3 additional locations in the past 5 years, 2 in Oklahoma City and another one in Tulsa. And we have thousands of members. It's a membership-based model. That business is doing well. And I released a new book called Search Engine Domination that we're selling a lot of copies of right now on Amazon. And my wife and I, we just bought 39 acres that has like a pond and a lake where we're in the process of building Camp Clark and Chicken Palace.
Whoa.
And I just finished my Camp Clark and Chicken Palace here, but I'm now expanding from 17 acres to the 39, and we're going to start hosting our workshops there as opposed to at the office building where we currently have a big old 20,000 square foot facility.
Oh, so exciting. You have so much stuff going on. It makes me feel so lazy, but looking back over your journey, Clay, you started your first multi-million-dollar company, not just like million, not 6 figures. We're talking multi-million-dollar company, DJconnection.com, at 18 years old. So you were very successful at a very young age. What do you attribute that early success to?
Well, I stuttered as a kid, and that wasn't good. And I won't make the show dark, but I had some abuse that happened at a very young age. And then my parents saw what was happening and stopped it, but it happened, you know. And then when you stutter, you get made fun of. And so I think you take your bitterness and you can turn it into betterness, or turn your bitterness and turn it into, Eminem songs. And I became a DJ. And so I kind of dressed like Eminem, kind of acted like Eminem, but I was very, very good at DJing. And I just had this mindset of like, I'm going to prove everybody wrong. And I had one mentor. His name was Uncle Jerry, and he had eyes that looked like a raccoon. And I was living with him because my dad's parents passed away in an unexpected turn of events. And so my dad's an only child. He's down in Waco, Texas, taking care of the home. And I get shipped up to Minnesota to live with this Uncle Jerry with the raccoon eyes. And Uncle Jerry, I didn't know it. It turns out, John Lee Dumas, turns out he's super rich. I didn't know my uncle was rich. And so he told me if I didn't get up at 5 and feed the chickens, I couldn't eat. And I thought, well, let's play a game. Let's play the game of chicken about the chickens. So I decided to not get up. And then he didn't serve me breakfast, and he didn't serve me dinner. And I thought, this guy's not kidding. And over time, I developed this thing called a work ethic. And Jerry had the thing, if you have time to watch TV, don't do push-ups.
Ooh.
So my parents shipped a fat kid to Minnesota who was lazy. And when they came to move to Minnesota, due to financial reasons, they found a very physically fit kid who worked very hard all the time, who had been taught the art of the grind from my Uncle Jerry.
So, Fire Nation, I really just hope you realize that you can instill these habits in your kids, in your family, in your loved ones. I mean, this is not something that you are stuck just because you may be fat and lazy day one doesn't mean you need to be fat and lazy day 2. Like, it literally could start today. And man, I just wonder how many times you've actually just said, thank goodness for that situation, because it's obviously created the person that you are today, who is literally the least lazy person that I personally know. And I mean, you've just done so many things. And I kind of want to get into your most recent thing, which is your book, Search Engine Domination, because it's all about dominating these search engines. But where do most people go wrong when it comes to that specific tactic?
Well, most people have allowed the process of optimizing their website to become overcomplicated, and they end up hiring a search engine optimization firm that tells them that optimizing a website is more complicated than designing a nuclear submarine or drawing a blueprint for building a professional football stadium with like a big retractable dome. And really, if everybody will take a moment and just do a search for Tulsa Pediatric Dentistry. That's one of my partner clients, Tulsa Pediatric Dentistry. And if you do the search, you say, oh, look, it's Morrow, Lyon, Kitterman coming up top. Why is that? If you Google search Tulsa, let's go with Tulsa Tulsa sprinkler systems. You'll see one of my clients, Living Water Irrigation, comes up top. If you Google search Dallas real estate photography, you'll find one of my clients, Full Package Media, comes up top. So I have 160 clients who we've helped to grow $2.3 billion this year, John Lee Dumas, $2.3 billion of revenue this year. 160 clients who have literally grown by $2.3 billion this year. ShawHomes.com grew from $37 million. We're talking about building houses to $80 million. And as of the time we're recording this, it's not the end of the year yet.
Goodness.
Think about this. So when you learn the systems, everyone goes, I know, we all use Google. They say, I'm going to do my research. I'm going to Google that. When Dave Berlin told me about your show 5 years ago, he said, Dave was one of my employees. And he said, you got to listen to John Lee Dumas. He's the man. He's on fire. Listen to him every day. This guy's on. He's sick. He has an unbelievable work ethic. This guy is so consistent, Clay. You'd love this guy. I say, I'm going to do my research, which consists of what? A Google search. So everybody uses Google, but no one knows how it works. And so I decided to distill it into a system that an idiot like myself, who took my ACT 3 times, algebra 3 times, I put it into a system step by step that everybody can do it, paint by numbers, and I fill it with over 50 verifiable case studies with phone numbers. So you can call these people and verify it worked. I got their permission.
Fire Nation, there's a reason why Google is now a verb. It's like to search, is because it has become that word now. And that's why we do everything on Google. Google Maps, we search for things. Google, we search for things. Google this, Google that. Like, it is literally the word that we use because that's what we do when we want to find any information out. So obviously, we just talked about a lot of things that people get wrong. They try to overcomplicate things. They listen to the wrong people, all these different things. But what are some just practical reasons why people should optimize their website?
Well, okay. Unless you hate money, you should probably optimize your website.
Fire Nation loves money, just for the record.
Yeah, this is the theme song of people that hate money. You get the little Communist National Anthem. If you're playing this while listening to today's show, I would encourage you to not optimize your website. But seriously, what you want to do is you got to understand that Full Package Media, the guy who started the company, Thomas, was a driver, a paramedic driver. Thomas Crossan was a paramedic driver 3 years ago. He just passed $1 million of gross revenue with a 35% profit margin. He just bought a Tesla cash. I mean, my company, if you Google search Tulsa Men's Haircuts, you'll see Elephant in the Room. My company comes up top. That's a multi-million-dollar company. If you Google right now, everybody Google Bill Belichick's #1 fan, but use the number sign. And who comes up top? I do. Why? Because I know how Google works. If you Google search carpet cleaning quotes, one of the brands I coach, OxyFresh, we have 400 locations now, John. We just passed 400 franchises that are open because we're top in Google.
Bill Belichick's #1 fan and America's #1 business coach, Clay Clark, teaches many people successful management principles. That's unbelievable.
And his assistant rejected me, Burj Najarian, a great guy, by the way. His job is to make sure that idiots like me do not interrupt Bill Belichick. But if you Google search Burj, B-E-R-J, Najarian, I now come up top for his name because I recognized if he's going to reject me, I must come up top for his name.
That's so great. That's so great.
It's a beautiful thing, and everybody can do it. It's a move. I mean, John Lee Dumas, when you started, I know I shouldn't interview the interviewer.
No, please do.
When you started EO Fire, you had to feel like it wasn't going to work. It's not going to happen. No, you just grinded. You you did it, and here you are. That's so cool, and everybody out there can do it. We can all, and we're you and me. We just encourage people. I want to give you a practical step so you don't leave feeling like an Easter bunny going, wow, I'm motivated, but now what? I'm just teaching you the what. These are the steps to take, man.
Give us a general overview of how to optimize a website. I mean, we're all fired up about it. We see how you've done it with Bill Belichick and all these. I mean, I want to know the general overview. How do we do this?
Well, step one, and I'm giving a ton of free stuff to your listeners because you're the best podcaster out there. So here's the deal. If you will leave a review on the John Lee Dumas on the EO Fire Show, so if you'll find the EO Fire Show on iTunes or Spotify or iHeart, whatever, and leave a review about the John Lee Dumas Show here, the EO Fire Show, and screenshot that beast and send it to me to info@thrivetimeshow.com. My team will do a 30-minute assessment with you for free. And I know there's hundreds of thousands of you.
You are amazing. That is the best offer I've had in 2,364 episodes.
But they have to leave a review for you. Don't leave a review about me. Just say, John Lee Dumas, how he's impacted your life. Do it. And it's 30 minutes. I normally would charge about $1,000 for this. It's free. And we'll go through it. So we're going to do an assessment.
Wait, for the record, I'm going to now leave a review for my own show to get this, Fire Nation, so you better be doing it too.
So, or if you go to thebestseobook.com, thebestseobook.com, you can download the book for free. And when you download the book for free, open to chapter 2. Open to chapter 2, download the ebook, it's free. And there's a checklist, so I'm just going to go through a few of them. Step 1, build it on WordPress. What? Build it on WordPress. But I don't want to build it on WordPress. Build it on WordPress. Don't custom code that beast. Build it on WordPress. Step 2, get the GoDaddy Grow package or a fast hosting service. It has to be reliable. But I want to host it with my mom's cousin. He lives in the basement. He's awesome. I love Bernie.
He's awesome.
Quit hosting your website with Bernie. Stop doing it. Host your website with a big boy business like a GoDaddy. Use the Grow package so it loads fast. Step 3, we got to optimize your title tag, your meta description, and your meta keywords. Okay, we got to do that. And in the book, it explains what that means, a lot of examples. Then we got to have 1,000 words of content per page. Why? Because Google wants 350 words of original HTML content, original words per page. So you want 1,000 words per page. 1,000 words per page. And if you Google search Ross Golan, Rossgolan, he is the one who passed the Music Modernization Act, which basically allows musical artists, top 40 artists, to get paid for their music. He also writes songs for Selena and Justin Bieber. He's a guest. If you Google search his name, Ross Golan, you'll find me on page 1 somewhere. And that is because I wrote 14 pages of original content about him. So much so that my wife was at a cheerleading event. She came back and was disturbed that I hadn't moved my body, and I was still down in the man cave typing about Ross Golan. And it's all original content, and I did it. And right now I'm working on a 22-hour Bill Belichick series filled with 102 fun facts that nobody knows and 75 notable quotables, so that when Bill Belichick types in his name, he shall find me.
Are you a Patriots fan?
I'm obsessive.
Okay, because I am too. I'm from Maine, so I'm New England.
I'm not from New England. I have no geographical ties, but somebody told me years ago, a very successful business owner, a billionaire, he said to me, you have to hire character and train skill. You never want to be held hostage by your employees. You want to bring in new talent, every week, always be interviewing, And I'm going, where are you getting this stuff from? And he says, oh, well, Bill Belichick. I mean, he wrote the book on management. He's a fine coach, but you understand he is the general manager and the head coach. I mean, not a lot of coaches pick the players and coach the players and pick their salaries. And that's what Bill Belichick does. And I'm just an obsessive fan of Bill Belichick.
Fire Nation, there's where the passion lies. And when you find that passion, go all in and do some crazy things like Clay does. And I think right now we're on number 4, which is 1,000 words of content per page. So keep ripping through these.
Yeah, so you want 1,000 words of content per page. Now, after you get 1,000 words of content per page, what you want to do is you want to make sure that your website has HTTPS encryption. So what I mean by that is that your site has to be encrypted so that it cannot be hacked as easily, okay? And you can purchase that from GoDaddy for like $80 a year, all right? So now that your site is structurally built right, you got to commit to a regimen. And the regimen is going to consist of 2 activities. And John Lee Dumas, you know this because you're an Amazon best-selling author.
Totally.
Everybody reads reviews. Everybody reads reviews. According to Forbes right now, over 90% of consumers read reviews, and they actually read reviews. They prefer reviews as opposed to personal recommendations now. Because you all know, we all have an uncle who's a bad plumber, and people ask, hey, so would you use Jerry for your plumbing needs? And you go, Jerry's a good guy. And you're like, yeah, but would you use him for your plumbing needs? And you go, because there's a fork in the road. You could say, no, Jerry is a dysfunctional man. Don't hire him. And now you won't see Jerry at Thanksgiving. Or you could say, Jerry's a great guy. Use him, which is a lie. And then you end up, your friend uses him, and now all of a sudden you have the curse of a bad referral. That's the option. That's the fork in the road. That's the proverbial issue. So Google reviews, people can leave a review. Or on Amazon, they leave a review, and then if they figure if there's enough of them, it must be true. And so you want to gather at least one Google review per day if you're a small business, one Google review per day. And you want to get one video review per day on YouTube. So if you Google search my name right now on YouTube, go to YouTube and type in Thrivetime Show Conference Reviews or Clay Clark Reviews. Everybody has haters. We all have haters. I get it. But we have right now over 1,100 people on video talking about how our in-person 2-day workshop was their favorite thing they've ever been to.
Wow.
Over 1,100 on video. And we have over 672 as of right now reviews on Google, well over 1,000 on iTunes. And you just got to get a Google review every day, one Google review a day, one YouTube video review per day, and one page of content per day. You got to get into a routine, into a rhythm. And you want to find the keywords you want to be top for, and our search engine experts will help you figure out how much content you need to win. But if you want to see how much content I have, just go to thrivetimeshow.com, and then right in front of the URL, we're getting kind of nerdy, right before you get to the HTTPS, type site:. So site:, like Colin Powell, I guess. Like clear your colon. So site:, HTTP, and you put it right in front of thrivetimeshow.com, and you will see right now we have approximately 7,860 pages. So again, Clay, how did you do it? Thrivetimeshow.com, right in front of the URL, type in site:, hit enter, and you can see Google is just saying we have approximately 7,860 pages they're counting right now. Or if you go to eitrlounge.com, eitrlounge.com, and you put site:, in front of that, you can see we have 6,220 pages. So if you wanted to beat Elephant in the Room, you would need approximately 18,000 pages of content to beat me in Tulsa, because you want to have 3 times as much content as the incumbent to win. So you'd want to have 18,000 pages. That'd be step 1. Or if you're on the Thrivetime Show, you'd need like 21,000 pages of content.
Ouch.
Yeah, and you've been doing some shows. Have you done? Is this your 7th show? Is it your 4th show? How many shows have you done so far?
2,364.
I knew I was close. Let me just try it out real quick here. Let me see. So I'm going to do a little check on your site, and right now we've got you have 3,160 shows. Apparently you've been busy. So that's to beat you in various search results. Somebody would have to get about 9,000 pages of content.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good luck, Fire Nation.
Good luck, yeah. And I would just say, now, the final step that I'll give the listeners, and you can download all these because there's so many more steps, but the final step is you want to be relevant. You want to do press releases if you have something to talk about. So one of my clients right now, if you Google Clay Clark Twitter, you can find the story. Or probably the best way to Google it would be to search for Oklahoma man buys 8 billboards. So one of my clients bought 8 billboards. It says Tulsa man uses 8 digital billboards to declare love for his wife. His name's Josh Wilson with Living Water Irrigation. We bought billboards that says, I love you more, Amy. And he's been on now the Kelly Clarkson Show. He's been on Good Morning America. He's been on People, every local news affiliate, every paper print, Fox News, whatever Jack on the Web is. He's been on, all these different websites, and these people backlink to him. And when you get a backlink from a high-quality news publication, that helps you. But I know it's kind of hard to get backlinks, so you don't have to get backlinks to be top in Google. That's just one more way. But in the book, it's very linear, and you just check the boxes and do it, and it works. It's free to download if you go to thebestseobook.com.
thebestseobook.com. And Fire Nation, of course, if you want to just totally dominate, you're going to be getting the book Search Engine Domination, because Clay completely kills it with that entire book. And of course, if you want that 30-minute free consultation, you're going to screenshot a review from Entrepreneurs on Fire, preferably in the Apple Podcast section, and you're going to send it. Where are they going to send it, Clay, for that?
You want to send it to info@thrivetimeshow.com. Info@thrivetimeshow.com. That's where you want to send it. And then we're going to do a 30-minute. Think about this. 30 minutes. Now, again, does it have to take 30 minutes? Does it have? No. I mean, no. I mean, if you want to get on the phone and say, I don't like WordPress. Like, we can hate WordPress. Well, then that's probably a shorter call. But if you hop on there and you want to know, I met with a couple today. They own Papa Gallo's Pizza in Satellite Beach, Florida. They were just here today. They have almost doubled their size of their pizzeria in the past 2 years. Now, you have to have great service. Okay, we got great service, but I'm giving you real people you can check out. Google search Tulsa Chiropractor. Dr. Breck, he just doubled his business there. Since I've met you, these people have doubled their business. And it turns out you can use money to buy goods and services and your time back. You can buy your time back. I don't think John Lee Dumas mows his lawn. John, do you mow your lawn?
I do not mow my lawn.
See, do you pay someone or they work for free? They can volunteer?
I had to pay them.
No, see what I'm saying, though? You could buy your time back. And this is so exciting. And I just feel like I had to put it into a book that would work for somebody like myself who had to take their ACT 3 times. We got to take the nerdery out of it, baby.
Fire Nation, search engine domination. Get it, be squared, make it happen. Do the review, get your 30-minute free consultation. Awesome stuff. And we have so much more coming up after we get back from thanking our sponsors. If you're a creator looking for new ways to connect and interact with your audience live, then I'm excited to tell you about Speak Easy, a new app made by creators for creators that is uniquely built to help you monetize your audience. All you have to do is download the Speak Easy app, go live, and you'll be connecting with an interactive audience who can comment, give live reactions, join you as a guest, share with their friends and followers, and more. You can use Speak Easy in so many ways: live podcasting, show recordings, to upload pictures and videos you want to share with your audience, or to host premium content people can subscribe to. Speakeasy doesn't censor content based on political, religious, or personal views. As long as you're not instigating violence, you can speak your mind. I'm going live on Speakeasy daily, Fire Nation, and I know you're going to love this platform. So what are you waiting for? Come join me for my next live show. Visit getspeakeasy.com to download the app. Follow me at John Lee Dumas, and I look forward to chatting with you live. That's getspeakeasy.com. Are you looking for a place where you can exchange ideas, share knowledge, and find invaluable mentors, co-founders, and investors? Sounds too good to be true, right? Thanks to HubSpot, it exists. And right now you can get instant access to a community of 16,000 plus business builders at trends.co/MFM. Trends is a HubSpot community for founders and entrepreneurs that tells you what the next big thing is going to be months before everyone else, and delivers access to analyst vetted business ideas and market signals straight to your inbox every single week. Inside Trends, you also have access to live virtual business training and Q&A sessions that feel like MBA lectures, where you can learn everything from advanced marketing techniques to how to get fundraising from venture capitalists. A 7-day trial of Trends is yours for only $1, and a yearly subscription plus access to the community is $299 per year. Get a 7-day trial of Trends for only $1 at trends.co/MFM. That's trends.co/MFM. Clay, we're back, and I just want to cut to the heart of the matter because you are an inspirational guy. You motivate a lot of people. Fire Nation listening right now has got a little fire burning because of some things that you've already shared. What drives you to achieve success?
I've got a picture of my dad that I keep here on the studio when I do my podcast. And my dad went to Oral Roberts University, and he graduated near the top of his class. He was the star pitcher of the Little League World Series back in 1965. And he called me about 3 years ago and told me that he had Lou Gehrig's disease and was going to die in about 12 months.
Oof.
And when you recognize that, again, I grew up without money, okay? But when you recognize that my dad, I'm 39. When my dad was 39, 38, 37, he had, with a college degree, graduated near the top of his class. He was number 2 overall. He was delivering pizzas at Domino's and working the night shift at a convenience store to provide for us when he was my age. Think about that. And I hated my dad because my dad worked to provide for me. So I thought he didn't care about me. You see how twisted that is? So my dad got off the work shift. He got done with work at Quick Trip at usually 3 a.m. So I set my alarm for 3 so I could see my dad. And we would watch Sports Center reruns. That's how I connect. I would eat burritos from Quick Trip with my dad. And now I'm 39 and I still wake up at 3 because of that. And so when I'm talking to you right now or your listeners, I'm not talking to an audience for the need of money. I'm simply done trying to earn money. I'm not trying to make money off of you. There's nothing wrong with making money either. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not a socialist. I get it. But I'm saying is there's no need to live in poverty. We can live in prosperity. And when you have financial abundance, you can give more, be more. It's like a magnifier. You can give to the things you want to give, and you can buy your time back. And now I've got 5 kids, all going to private school, cheer lessons, drum lessons. I spend time with them. And I believe there's somebody listening right now who is a Tom Clark. So I only have 160 clients. I'm never going to grow our program. But when I work with our clients, it's weird, but when I look at them, it's almost like I see a hologram of my dad right next to him saying, teach me. I just want to know what to do. Because my dad didn't know what to do. So he went to some get-rich-quick seminars. They ripped him off. He went to he tried to get the insurance license. He tried to become a real estate guy. He tried to buy land. You try these different things, and there's seminars that'll try to, get you excited and get you pumped up and then trick you into something. And I know you don't do that, and I don't do that, but a lot of people do that. And so I'm just saying right now, if you're out there, because your net worth, by the way, has nothing to do with your value as a human. I believe you're put on this earth for a reason. But if your net worth is not good, and it's been not good since birth, I want to change the conversation. I'm a millionaire maker. That's what I do. I've already achieved my goals. A lot of people are 26 years old and they haven't hit their goals. I hit my goals. I was 26, John Lee Dumas. We were doing 4,000 weddings a year at djconnection.com. I sold that thing, and my goal was to hire my dad before I was 30. So when I was 27 years old, I picked up the phone, boop, 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 boop. I called 320-224-9308. I think my mom still has the number, and the other day I called it, and I don't know why. It's a weird thing. I used to call my dad all the time on the way home. But that was the number. Called my dad, Dad, I'm going to hire you. He says, to do what? I said, just to be dad. There's nothing. You're hired. And he just got laid off again. And he's going, are you kidding me? I go, no. You're coming to Tulsa. Come. So he moved down here with he and my mom moved down here, hired my dad. And then when my dad got sick, they were talking about, my dad, he has a hard time breathing. He wore a mask. You could barely hear him. He's very kind of raspy when he talk. And my dad says, he would raise his eyebrows to get my attention because he couldn't talk. He could barely whisper. So he raises his eyebrow. I go, Dad, what's up? I take the mask off, and he says, I want you to plan something for me. So we started talking. I said, what? He goes, I want to go to my reunion, but they won't let me go because they think I'm going to die. So I talked, and you got to have like a nurse person go with you. You got to have all the tubes and the lung pressure machines and all these apparatuses. And my dad, I paid for it. We went down there to his reunion, and it cost money to do that. And I used my money to do it. I didn't want to get paid back. And we went down there. He pulled up in his wheelchair. Reunions, a lot of times people don't show up. Everybody who was alive showed up for his reunion. He got a standing ovation when he came in. And he told me, he said, son, that is the highlight of my life. That's what he said to me. It's the highlight of my life. That happened. And then we threw him a going away party while he was still alive. So it's like a funeral that you get to attend, but you're alive. And Coach Eddie Sutton, the Hall of Fame basketball coach,
yes,
and all these people, Paul Pressey, the NBA coach, good friend of mine, who coached on the Lakers his last job. He now coaches at St. John's, great coach and player in the NBA for years. He gave my dad his NBA Bucks draft jacket. The jacket they give you in the hat when they draft you, he gave it to my dad. Like, people came and said, Tom, you meant this to me, and he's alive. And that costs money to fly people in, John Lee Dumas. It costs money. People don't have money, but I have money. So I used my money not to buy things, but to buy time. And that is why I do what I do.
Fire Nation, if you don't have shivers right now, check Yo Pulse, because that is exactly why we do what we do. So we can live the life we want, so we can have the financial freedom, the location freedom, the lifestyle freedom, the overall freedom to make these types of choices for those who we love. Now, you, Clay, have an amazing morning routine. I'm a big morning routine guy myself. So walk us through how you personally organize the first 4 hours of each and every day.
Well, it is changing a little bit. So it is true as of this morning, but it's going to change a little bit, and I'll talk about that. But I wake up at 3 a.m. The only guy that I know who beats me in the office is Jonathan Kelly, he's the co-author of the book, Search Engine Domination. Jonathan worked on the search engine team and essentially wanted to know how to get promoted. And I said, beat me to work. And he's beat me to work every day since then. So big shout out to Jonathan Kelly. But I wake up at 3. I get to the office at approximately 4:05, 3:55, depends on what kind of paperwork I'm knocking out. Then we'll work out for about a half hour. And then I do my meta planning, which is all it is. Don't make it weird. It's meta time. Some people call it meditation. Some people call it prayer time. Just here's what it is. It's me just getting out my to-do list for the day while, as I'm kind of getting ready to hop in the shower. And I'm just writing out things that I have to get done today. I have a big typed out list, but the things that have to get done. Like my wife's on jury duty today. That has to be done. I got to pick up my son tonight from basketball. That has to get done. Things that have to get done. I have my attorney, I'm talking to him about a new project I'm working on that has to get done. I had to buy the land that had to get done. So I make a list, and I make a list, and it takes me about a half hour to do it. And it's my list for my goals for my F6 life. So my goals for my faith, my family, my finances, fitness, friendship, and fun. My goals for my faith, family, finance, fitness, friendship, and fun. They call it my F6 life. I designed the life that I want to live. Then at 6 o'clock, that's our first meeting where I coach our coaches, and each one of our coaches works with 15 clients. I answer all the client questions, and the day begins to go, and it goes fast. But there's a little Bible verse I wanted to share with some of your listeners out there. Matthew 16:26 reads, "For what good will it be for someone to gain the whole world yet forfeit their soul? Or what can anyone give in exchange for their soul?" And I'm not saying you have to be a Christian. I'm not trying to make it a religious show. What I'm saying is that if you're not careful, your Monday leads into a Tuesday, which is usually followed by a Wednesday and a Thursday and a Friday. And then a Saturday kind of comes around the corner. And then there's a Sunday, and we're kind of going, well, someday, John Lee Dumas, someday I'm going to do this. But someday is never on the calendar. I've looked at it. I bought a lot of calendars. I got ones with dogs, and I got an awkward one with firefighters on it. I got the whole thing. And you open it up, and you're going, why are the firefighters not wearing much? Why are there so many dogs in this calendar? There's no someday. It doesn't matter which one you buy. You buy a sports one. You can buy an old Kirby Puckett themed one. You can buy an old Minnesota Twins one. You can buy all that. But they don't have someday in there. There's no someday. So we got to design our life. And that's why when you were telling me when we interviewed you, you were telling me about the tax savings of moving to Puerto Rico. And I heard about the massive avocados. And so I did a crazy thing. I did it. I went down there. I checked it out. And I determined it wasn't a good fit for me right now, but I had a great time. But I did it. I scheduled time to do it. And so many people, we listen to your show, and I know you do your show not just for entertainment. You do it for edutainment, to entertain and to educate. You want to help people change their life. And we say, but if I take the action and it's wrong, what happens? Well, then you have to learn the rhythm of entrepreneurs. And the rhythm is this: define what you think is going to happen, act, measure, refine. Define, act, measure, refine. Like we're in the military. Define, act, measure, refine. Define, act, measure, refine. Define. It's like you were in the military. You get it. Define, act, measure, refine. That's the rhythm. Is you define what you think's going to work, then you act. You act as though your life is a limited amount of time. You act as though you might die at a day you don't choose, which is true. You act without fear. You act, and then you measure, and you refine, and you define, and then you act, and someone says, what if it doesn't work out? And you say, I rebuke you, and then you act, and then you measure, you actually track data. To track, that doesn't sound exciting at all. No, you got to track, and then you refine. That doesn't sound exciting at all. You just define, act, measure, refine, until your brain explodes.
Fire Nation, I hope you're as energized as I am listening to what Clay has created for himself, for his life, for his family. And guess what? It all starts with that 4 hours each and every day. Like, I'm not going to say that I kind of maybe cringed a little bit when he said by 6 p.m. what he had done by that time. And I'm like, that's actually when I'm kind of waking up. But you know what? To each his own. You create your morning routine that works for you, Fire Nation. And Clay, you actually have a podcast, the Thrivetime Show podcast, which, as you mentioned, I was lucky to be a guest on. And you talk a lot about no-brainers. What is a no-brainer?
A no-brainer is a deal so hot, so beautiful, so attractive. It's like the tractor beam scene from that first Star Wars, The New Hope, where it's like Han Solo's trying to pull out of the tractor beam, and the Wookiees going, and they're trying to get, but they can't because the tractor beam, and it's done, and it's pulling them in, and you want them to stop, and the whole thing. You can't stop it. It's pulling you in. It's a hot deal. So at Elephant in the Room, our haircut chain, your first haircut's $1. I mean, it's $1. It's like a high-end haircut. It's like a country club for hair, and it's $1. It's so good. People say, what's the catch? And our salespeople, our call center says, we lose a lot of money. That's really the catch. So we want to wow you so you come back, because it costs us, if everyone's, it's not a commission-only business. It costs us about $22 to cut your hair for $1. My partner, Dr. Robert Zellner, largest optometrist in Oklahoma, your first pair of glasses and the exam is $99. And people say, how is that possible? How can I go to drzellner.com, ZOELLNER.com? How can I go there and how do you make any money? And it's like, I don't. You got to come back and bring friends. That's the key. So, like a no-brainer we have, I think, for your listeners is if you download thebestseobook.com, you go to thebestseobook.com, you download the book, it's free. And you go, well, how do you make any money? I don't. Unless you like it so much, you buy a tangible copy. I mean, why would I let you download it for free? I mean, I guess you could go to Kinko's and print it off and screw the man, right? I printed this at FedEx. All right, I saved some money. I mean, you could do that. And people have done that with your books, I'm sure.
Oh, big time.
Oh, if you want to be really clever and go have them made mock versions of it, and I get it, people will do that. But I'm just saying is, I believe that people will respect the book enough to want to buy it. And then also at our workshops, what I've found at our workshops is that when people, by the way, if you leave a review about the EO Fire show, and on like we said on iTunes or Spotify or iHeartRadio or wherever you want to leave a review, and you screenshot it and you send it to info@thrivetimeshow.com, in addition to giving you a 30-minute one-on-one consultation, it won't feel rushed. It will not feel rushed. We will also give you tickets to our workshops for just $37 as opposed to $250 because we have a CPA who is paying the remainder of the deal. So I don't lose money. The CPA picks up a lot of clients, and so you can attend one of the highest rated business workshops for $37 just for reviewing the John Lee Dumas show. That's a no-brainer. It's hot.
I'm going to say 2 words, no-brainer. So Fire Nation, I hope you're taking notes. I hope you're taking action. And Clay, let's end with a call to action. What do you want Fire Nation to do above and beyond to everything else we've already chatted today? What's the one call to action?
I want you to write this down, and that means I have to read it kind of slow. So I'll go kind of slow, and if it's okay, I'm going to cue up my totally licensed monk music here. Okay, here we go. And Andrew, can I get some echoes? Are you prepared for some echoes, please? Or you got the echoes?
So ready.
Okay, here we go. Whatever you do, do it well. Do it so well that when people see you do it, they will want to come back and see you do it again and again and again. And they will want to bring others and show them how well you do.
Boom! Shake the room, Fire Nation. JLD here, and welcome to Entrepreneurs on Fire, brought to you by the HubSpot Podcast Network with great shows like Success Story Podcast. Today, we're pulling a timeless EO Fire episode from the archive, so the giveaway may not be active, and we'll be breaking down the steps to business success. To drop these value bombs, I have brought Clay Clark into EO Fire Studios. Clay is the former U.S. SBA Entrepreneur of the Year, founder of 6 multi-million-dollar companies, a Forbes contributor, author of 13 books, and host of the 6 times iTunes chart-topping podcast. And today, Fire Nation, we'll talk about how most people have allowed the process of optimizing their websites to become overly complicated. Here's how to simplify, understanding the urgency of the situation, and whatever you do, do it well, Fire Nation. And here's how to do that, and so much more. And a big thank you for sponsoring today's episode goes to Clay and our sponsors. Speakeasy will allow you to create content for your audience live, earn recurring revenue from monthly subscribers, stream private shows for select attendees, and more. I am loving creating daily content on Speakeasy, and I think you will too. Visit getspeakeasy.com to download the app and start rolling. Success Story, hosted by Scott D. Clary, is brought to you by the HubSpot Podcast Network, the audio destination for business professionals. Success Story features Q&A, keynote presentations, and convos on sales, marketing, and more. A recent episode on how to protect your business in times of crisis is a must listen. Listen to Success Story wherever you get your podcasts. Clay, say what's up to Fire Nation and share something interesting about yourself that most people don't know.
What is going on there, Fire Nation? I have 30 chickens, 14 cats, north of 40 fire extinguishers, and I've had enough Dayquil today to kill a small goat.
No wonder why you haven't moved to Puerto Rico yet, because that is a lot of baggage, my friend, that's going on there. In Fire Nation, Clay was actually last on Entrepreneurs on Fire back in 2015. So it's been over 4 years. So there's been a lot going on in your world, brother. I've been keeping some tabs. I've been being filled in by my team here, but share with Fire Nation the new projects that you've been up to since we last chatted.
Well, we have a men's grooming lounge chain. It's kind of like haircuts meets country clubs called Elephant in the Room. And we just opened up 3 additional locations in the past 5 years, 2 in Oklahoma City and another one in Tulsa. And we have thousands of members. It's a membership-based model. We do that business is doing well. And I released a new book called Search Engine Domination that we're selling a lot of copies of right now on Amazon. And my wife and I, we just bought 39 acres that has like a pond and a lake where we're in the process of building Camp Clark and Chicken Palace.
Whoa.
And I just finished my Camp Clark and Chicken Palace here, but I'm now expanding from 17 acres to the 39, and we're going to start hosting our workshops there as opposed to at the office building where we currently have a big old 20,000 square foot facility.
Oh, so exciting. You have so much stuff going on. It makes me feel so lazy, but looking back over your journey, Clay, you started your first multi-million-dollar company, not just like million, not 6 figure. We're talking multi-million-dollar company, DJconnection.com at 18 years old. So you were very successful at a very young age. What do you attribute that early success to?
Well, I stuttered as a kid, and that wasn't good. And I won't make the show dark, but I had some abuse that happened at a very young age. And then my parents saw what was happening and stopped it, but it happened, you know. And then when you stutter, you get made fun of. And so I think you take your bitterness and you can turn it into betterness, or turn your bitterness and turn it into, Eminem songs. And I became a DJ. And so I kind of dressed like Eminem, kind of acted like Eminem, but I was very, very good at DJing. And I just had this mindset of like, I'm going to prove everybody wrong. And I had one mentor. His name was Uncle Jerry, and he had eyes that looked like a raccoon. And I was living with him because my dad's parents passed away in an unexpected turn of events. And so my dad's an only child. He's down in Waco, Texas, taking care of the home. And I get shipped up to Minnesota to live with this Uncle Jerry with the raccoon eyes. And Uncle Jerry, I didn't know it. It turns out, John Lee Dumas, turns out he's super rich. I didn't know my uncle was rich. And so he told me if I didn't get up at 5 and feed the chickens, I couldn't eat. And I thought, well, let's play a game. Let's play the game of chicken about the chickens. So I decided to not get up. And then he didn't serve me breakfast, and he didn't serve me dinner. And I thought, this guy's not kidding. And over time, I developed this thing called a work ethic. And Jerry had the thing, if you have time to watch TV, don't do push-ups.
Ooh.
So my parents shipped a fat kid to Minnesota who was lazy. And when they came to move to Minnesota, due to financial reasons, they found a very physically fit kid who worked very hard all the time, who had been taught the art of the grind from my Uncle Jerry.
So, Fire Nation, I really just hope you realize that you can instill these habits in your kids, in your family, in your loved ones. I mean, this is not something that you are stuck just because you may be fat and lazy day one doesn't mean you need to be fat and lazy day 2. Like, it literally could start today. And man, I just wonder how many times you've actually just said, thank goodness for that situation, because it's obviously created the person that you are today, who is literally the least lazy person that I personally know. And I mean, you've just done so many things. And I kind of want to get into your most recent thing, which is your book, Search Engine Domination, because it's all about dominating these search engines. But where do most people go wrong when it comes to that specific tactic?
Well, most people have allowed the process of optimizing their website to become overcomplicated. And they end up hiring a search engine optimization firm that tells them that optimizing a website is more complicated than designing a nuclear submarine.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
Okay, Aaron Antis, March 6th and 7th. March 6th and 7th, guess who's coming to Tulsa, Jerusalem?
Ooh, Santa Claus?
No, that's March 6th and 7th.
Oh.
You're going to be joined by Robert Kiyosaki.
Robert Kiyosaki.
Best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Probably the best-selling, or one of the best-selling business authors of all time. And he's going to be joined with Eric Trump. He'll be joined by Eric Trump. So we got Eric Trump and Robert Kiyosaki in the same place.
In the same place.
Aaron, why should everybody show up to hear Robert Kiyosaki?
Well, you got billions of dollars of business experience between those two, not to mention many, many, many millions of books have been sold. Many, many millionaires have been made from the books that have been sold by Robert Kiyosaki. I happen to be one of them. I learned from the man. He was the inspiration. That book was the inspiration for me to get the entrepreneurial spirit, as many other people.
Now, since you won't brag on yourself, I will. You've sold billions of dollars of houses, am I correct?
That is true.
And the book that kickstarted it all for you,
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the author, the best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, the guy that kickstarted your career.
Yeah.
He's going to be here.
He's going to be here. I'm pumped.
And now Eric Trump, people don't know this, but the Trump organization has thousands of employees. There's not 50 employees. The Trump organization, again, most people don't know this, but the Trump organization has thousands of employees. And while Donald J. Trump was the 45th president of these United States and soon to be the 47th president of these United States, he needed someone to run the companies for him. And so the man that runs the Trump organization for Donald J. Trump, as he was the 45th president of the United States and now the 47th president of the United States, is Eric Trump. And so Eric Trump is here to talk about time management, promoting from within, marketing, branding, quality control, sales systems, workflow design, workflow mapping, how to build. I mean, everything that you see, the Trump hotels, the Trump golf courses, all their products, the man who manages billions of dollars of real estate and thousands of employees is here to teach us how to do it.
You are talking about one of the greatest brands on the planet from a business standpoint.
Right.
I mean, who else has been able to create a brand like the Trump brand? I mean, look at it. And this is the man behind the business for the last pretty much since 2015. He's been the man behind it. So you're talking, we're into 9 going into 10 years of him running it, and we get to tap into that knowledge. That's going to be amazing.
Now, think about this for a second. Would you buy a ticket just to see Robert Kiyosaki and Eric Trump? Of course you would.
Of course you would.
But we're also going to be joined by Sean Baker. This is the best-selling author, the guy who invented the carnivore diet.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Sean Baker. He's been on Joe Rogan multiple times. He's going to be joining us. So you've got Robert Kiyosaki, the best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Eric Trump, Sean Baker. The lineup continues to grow, and this is how we do our tickets here at the Thrivetime Show. If you want to get a VIP ticket, you can absolutely do it. It's $500 for a VIP ticket. We've always done it that way. Now, if you want to take a general admission ticket, it's $250 or whatever price you want to pay. And the reason why I do that, and the reason why we do that is because we want to make our events affordable for everybody. I grew up without money. I totally understand what it's like to be in a tight spot. So if you want to attend, it's $250 or whatever price you want to pay. That's how I do it. And it's $500 for a VIP ticket. Now, we only have limited seating here. With the most people we've ever had in this building was for the Jim Brewer presentation. Jim Brewer came here, the legendary comedian Jim Brewer came to Tulsa, and we had 419 people that were here. 419 people.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, there's no more room. I felt kind of bad that a couple people had VIP seats in the men's restroom. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. But I thought, you know what? We should probably add on. So we're adding on what we call the upper deck, or the top shelf. So the seats are very close to the presenters, but we're actually building right now. We're adding on to the facility to make room to accommodate about another 30 attendees or more. So again, if you want to get tickets for this event, all you have to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. When you go to thrivetimeshow.com, you'll go there, you'll request a ticket, boom. Or if you want to text me, if you want a little bit faster service, you say, I want you to call me right now. Just text my number. It's my cell phone number, my personal cell phone number. We'll keep that private between you, me, everybody. We'll keep that private. And anybody, don't share that with anybody except for everybody. That's my private cell phone number. It's 918-851-0102. 918-851-0102. I know we have a lot of Spanish-speaking people that attend these conferences, and so to be bilingually sensitive, my cell phone number is 918-851-0102.
That is not actually bilingual. That's just saying Juan for a one. It's not the same thing.
I think you're attacking me. Now, let's talk about this. Now, what kind of stuff will you learn at the Thrivetime Show workshop? So, Aaron, you've been to many of these over the past 7-8 years. So let's talk about it. I'll tee up the thing, and then you tell me what you're going to learn here, okay?
Okay.
You're going to learn marketing and branding. What are we going to learn about marketing and branding?
Oh, yeah. We're going to dive into, so many people say, I got to get my brand known out there, like the Trump brand, right? You want to get that brand out there. It's like, how do I actually make people know what my business is and make it a household name? You're going to learn some intricacies of how you can do that.
You're going to learn sales. So many people struggle to sell something. This just in, your business will go to hell if you can't sell. So we're going to teach you sales. We're going to teach you search engine optimization, how to come up top in the search engine results. We're going to teach you how to manage people. Aaron, you have managed, no exaggeration, hundreds of people throughout your career and thousands of contractors. And most people struggle with managing people. Why does everybody have to learn how to manage people?
Well, because first of all, you either have great people or you have people who suck. And so it can be a challenge. Learning how to work with a large group of people and get everybody pulling in the same direction can be a challenge. But if you have the right systems, you have the right processes, and you're really good at selecting great ones, and we have a process we teach about how to find great people. When you start with the people who have a great attitude, they're teachable, they're driven, all of those things, then, you can get those people all pulling in the same direction.
So we're going to teach you branding, marketing, sales, search engine optimization. We're going to teach you accounting. We're going to teach you personal finance, how to manage your finance. We're going to teach you time management. How do you manage your time? How do you get more done during a typical day? How do you build an organization if you're not organized? How do you do organization? How do you build an org chart? Everything that you need to know to start and grow a business will be taught during this 2-day interactive business workshop. Now, let me tell you how the format is set up here. And again, folks, this is a 2-day interactive 15. Think about this, folks. It's 2 days. Each day it starts at 7 a.m. and it goes until 5 p.m. So from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., 2 days. It's a 2-day interactive workshop. The way we do it is we do a 30-minute teaching session, and then we break for 15 minutes for a question and answer session. So, Aaron, what kind of great stuff happens during that 15-minute question and answer session after every teaching session?
I actually think it's the best part about the workshops, because here's what happens. I've been to lots of these things over the years. I've paid many thousands of dollars to go to them. And you go in there and they talk in vague generalities, and they're constantly upselling you for something, trying to get you to buy this thing or that thing or this program or this membership. And you leave not getting your very specific questions answered about your business or your employees or what you're doing on your marketing. And what's awesome about this is we literally answer every single question that any person asks, and it's very specific to what your business is.
And what we do is we allow you as the attendee to write your questions on the whiteboard. And then we literally, as you mentioned, we answer every single question on the whiteboard. And then we take a 15-minute break to stretch and to make it entertaining when you're stretching. And this is a true story. When you get up and stretch, you'll be greeted by mariachis. There's going to probably be alpaca here, llamas, helicopter rides, a coffee bar, a snow cone. There's just...
You had a crocodile one time. That was pretty interesting.
I should write that down and actually do that.
Sorry for that one guy that we lost.
The crocodile, we duct taped its face so that we duct taped.
No, it was a baby crocodile.
And it was duct tape.
Yeah, duct tape around the mouth so it didn't bite anybody. But it was really cool passing that thing around and petting
I should do that. We have a small petting zoo that will be assembled. It's going to be great. And then you're in the company of hundreds of entrepreneurs. So there's not a lot of people in America today. In fact, there's less than 10 million people today, according to U.S. Debt Clock, that identify as being self-employed. So if you have a country with 350 million people, that means you have less than 3% of our population that's even self-employed. So you only have 3 out of every 100 people in America that are self-employed to begin with. And when Inc. magazine reports that 96% of businesses fail by default, you have a 1 out of 1,000 chance of succeeding in the game of business. But yet the average client that you and I work with, we can typically double this. And this is no hyperbole. No exaggeration. And I have thousands of testimonials to back this up. We have thousands of testimonials to back it up. But when you work with a home builder, when I work with a business owner, we can typically double the size of the company within 24 months.
Yeah.
Double. And you say double? Yeah, there's businesses that we have tripled. There's businesses we've grown 8x. There's so many examples you can see at thrivetimeshow.com. But again, this is the most interactive, best business workshop on the planet. This is objectively the highest rated and most reviewed business workshop on the planet. And then you add to that Robert Kiyosaki, the best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You add to that Eric Trump, the man that runs the Trump Organization. You add to that Sean Baker. Now you might say, but Clay, is there more? I need more. Well, okay, Tom Wheelwright is the wealth strategist for Robert Kiyosaki. So people say, Robert Kiyosaki, who's his financial wealth advisor? Who's the guy who manages, who's his wealth strategist? His wealth strategist, Tom Wheelwright, will be here. And you say, Clay, I'm not going to get a ticket unless you give me more. Okay, fine. We're going to serve you the same meal both days. True story. We cater in the food, and because I keep it simple, I literally bring in the same food both days for lunch. It's Ted Escondido's, an incredible Mexican restaurant. That's going to happen. And Jill Donovan, our good friend, who is the founder of Rustic Cuff. She started that company in her home, and now she sells millions of dollars of apparel and products. That's rusticcuff.com. And someone says, I want more. This is not enough.
Give me more.
Okay. I'm not going to mention their names right now because I'm working on it behind the scenes here. But we've got one guy who's given me a verbal to be here. And this is a guy who's one of the wealthiest people in Oklahoma, and nobody really knows who he is because he's built systems that are very utilitarian, that offer a lot of value. He's made a lot of money in it's where you rent. It's short term. It's where you're renting storage spaces. He's a storage space guy. He owns what do you call that? The rental,
storage space.
Storage units. This guy owns storage units. He owns railroad cars. He owns a lot of assets that make money on a daily basis, but they're not like customer facing. Most people don't know who owns the mini storage facility, or most people don't know who owns the warehouse that's passively making money. Most people don't know who owns the railroad cars, but this guy, he's given me a verbal that he will be here, and we just continue to add more and more success stories. So if you're out there today and you want to change your life, you want to give yourself an incredible gift, you want a life-changing experience, you want to learn how to start and grow a company, go to thrivetimeshow.com. Go there right now, thrivetimeshow.com. Request a ticket for the 2-day interactive event. Again, the day here is March 6th and 7th. March 6th and 7th, we just got confirmation. Robert Kiyosaki, best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he'll be here. Eric Trump, the man who leads the Trump Organization. It's going to be a blasty blast. There's no upsells. Aaron, I could not be more excited about this event.
I think it is incredible. And there's somebody out there right now, you're watching and you're like, but I already signed up for this incredible other program called Smoke Your Way to Thin. I think that's going to change your life. I promise you, this will be 10 times better than that.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking.
Don't do the Smoke Your Way to Thin conference. That is, I've tried it. Don't do it.
Yeah, chain smoking is not a viable. I mean, it is life-changing. It is life-changing. If you become a chain smoker, it is life-changing.
Not the best weight loss program, though.
Right, really. So if you're looking to have life-changing results in a way that won't cause you to have a stoma, get your tickets at thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's Aaron Antis. I'm Clay Clark, and reminding you and inviting you to come out to the 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show workshop right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I promise you, it will be a life-changing experience. We can't wait to see you right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma.